This is Justin Lawson.
No one could have guessed who the real culprit was.
The victim was Gloria Blaze. We can start with the stage names. Clegg plays the leading actor. Roscoe Strapping, the supporting actress. Destiny Knox. She was shot from a distance of about 1 to 3 meters away. A typed slip of paper that reads, "Will pay for betraying."
This is where Clegg was found, unconscious, revolver in hand. Why wouldn't she have that on stage with her?
Oil stain. Deductions. Let's start with the gun. Because that's what's interesting to me. Because why would...
You can
Okay, I get
No. You can finish your thought.
What? Why would there be oil stains along the back of the set? Unless the
Roscoe's
guns were
wearing gloves.
switched out.
Okay. Sorry.
That's just my thought process.
Roscoe's wearing gloves. Okay. Hadn't we better look for the gun that Clegg used, eh? An excellent idea. And while you do that, I'll set about finding the way to your heart.
Ugh.
You what? You what? Why'd you go, ugh? Did I make him sound that revolting?
Yes!
Good. He needs to be charming douchebag. That's what his voice
He is charming douchebag.
Well, murder
Start
weapon is in
investigating.
Clegg's hand. We know this. This is
No
the...
revolver that has been identified as a weapon.
Ah, defensive heart. I've got it! The murder weapon! This is the gun, all right! Brava! Brains and beauty. What am I going to do with you?
Ugh.
Give over, I'm not special. The barrel of this very gun carried the bullet that pierced my beloved's heart and stole her from me. When you examine the evidence, that is exactly what you shall find. So, now you must ask yourself, what scoundrel was holding the gun? I get to be really overdramatic. What rogue was
I can
holding
tell
the gun?
you're enjoying this.
I like acting. And he's like so
Who's
overdramatic.
holding the gun? It couldn't have been Clegg. The bullet doesn't line up.
No, but I think that's what they want us for this. Here it is! Here he is! Here's Clegg! Clocked Clegg. He's been knocked out while still holding the gun. So what's... Oh, yeah, he's hitting on her and he's having an affair with a co-actress in the show when they were engaged.
This guy's a sleazebag.
So he's a sleazebag. Horrible sleazebag. I don't understand why people find him really handsome. I don't know.
He's not.
He doesn't look that handsome. He's been knocked out while still holding the gun. Yes, that's a very accurate term. Excellent work, Angel Face. What fantastic eyes you have. Perhaps you'd like to come and work for me as my personal assistant. No thanks, I think I'll pass. Pity. Still, at least now we have conclusive proof that Clegg was in possession of the murder weapon. Surely that is more than enough evidence to charge that rapscallion.
Let's not forget the one rather crucial detail. Clegg was struck repeatedly in the back of the head.
Obviously, the boy did that to himself.
What? Let's assume for a moment that Clegg is guilty and that he knocked himself out to avoid suspicion.
Do you want to explain your what?
That's not... Your body physically refuses to allow you to intentionally hurt yourself.
Well, no, that's not true.
90% of the time.
you can fight against it, so you could knock yourself out. It would be difficult, but if he was really that desperate, he could do it. I think it's unlikely, because why would you hit yourself repeat? I don't know.
How would you hit yourself repeatedly?
I don't know. You just keep hitting yourself over and over again until you knock out. Go ahead.
True. It would be very strange indeed.
Exactly.
Do you see why, Lucy?
Wait, why?
He was hit multiple times.
Wait, I don't know. Was it because he was hit multiple times?
What's odd about Clegg knocking himself
still
out to
holding the
avert
gun.
suspicion?
Wait, because he was still holding the gun. Why would he hold the murder weapon if he was going to knock himself out? That makes him more suspicious.
That is true. He was still holding the gun.
I'm going to go with he's still holding the gun.
Yeah.
Yeah, because why would he hold the gun if he was going to knock himself out to make himself not suspicious?
Well, if I were trying to make it look like I hadn't done it, I would have chucked the gun away for starters.
Exactly. Whatever plot you came up with to divert suspicion from you, it would not involve holding the gun. No, however you look at it, Clegg would have disposed of the gun before knocking himself out.
Oh, defense cracked. Someone's hiding something. You make such assumptions without knowing a man. I tell you, he's a fool! A complete imbecile! That's why he didn't have the brains to figure out he shouldn't dispose of the gun. It's really quite obvious. Am I making you hate this man?
I see. Well, there's nothing more we can say on the matter then.
Unfortunately not. That man is witless, and that's all there is to it. Am I making you hate this guy? That's my goal.
I hated him to begin with.
Am I making you hate him more?
Yes.
Good.
Let's inspect Blaze's wound next.
Investigating the wound means checking out the body, right?
Would you like a strong man to escort you?
I'll just be just fine, thank you very much.
Investigate the body.
A single shot to the heart from between 1 and 3 meters away, resulting in instant death.
Exactly. From the barrel of the very revolver found in Clegg's guilty hand. I'll see that dastard rot in hell.
Please try to remain calm. Let's continue with our investigation, shall we?
Of course. Do excuse.
The bullet passed straight through the victim's body.
Very powerful shot.
We should be able to find it somewhere else on the scene.
I hear you, Prof. We're looking for a bullet hole now.
We know where the bullet hole is.
I know, this is why it's helpful to investigate the crime scene beforehand, because if we know where the bullet hole is... Nope, that's wrong.
If the gun is supposed to be a prop, question the prop master. He must have put a real bullet in the gun.
The prop master is the one who's unconscious with the gun in his hand. That's the prop master. But it's interesting. There's a few interesting points that are of suspicion of the case, like the fact that Gloria didn't have the remote she was supposed to in order to release the fake blood. That Clegg is found knocked out with the gun in his hand. And there's that suspicious oil stain in the back where the fake gun is. This is it, Prof. Sorry, I forgot to read the last line. Okay. Oh, that's you.
Okay, so from the relative positions of this hole in the corpse, we can deduce where the shot originated.
Oh.
I'll figure it out in a jiffy.
Not so fast. Not so fast. We already know that Gloria's life was taken by a bullet. Any further investigation on it will be a complete waste of time, surely.
We're just trying to be thorough. It won't take a moment.
Well, if you will waste precious minutes while that miscreant roams free, just get on with it quickly. Just get on with it quickly. So
It would have had to have been stage position B. That's the only trajectory that lines up with it.
it was fired from here.
Well, as far as I can tell, I put the shooter about here.
That was my position. That was my position on stage. Sorry, Angel Face, but you're reading the wrong lines. Think again.
What's your reasoning, Lucy? What proves this is the location which the killer took a shot?
Body and bullet hole placing.
Exactly.
He looks so scared.
That's within the 1 to 3 meters distance from the body. Yes, it's indeed likely the shot originated here.
Aye, this is the spot, all right. The gun must have been fired from here, right here.
Oh, that's me, sorry. What an extraordinary coincidence, ladies and gents. 1 in a million! The very spot I occupied on stage. Of course, it's of no relevance whatsoever. As I expected, this has been an utter waste of time.
On the contrary, this is extremely relevant information.
Pardon me?
When the shot was heard, it was pitch black on the stage. Shooting the victim dead with a single bullet in total darkness is bordering on the impossible.
Bordering on, perhaps. Yet alack, my glorious life was taken by Yet alack, my glorious life was taken by one such miserable slug. Whatever you may say now, nothing can bring my darling back. Oh, fate, you are a cruel mistress indeed.
No, very true. Nothing will bring Miss Blaze back to life. But
The final curtain has fallen. There is nothing more to say. Well, I think that settles it. Clegg is the killer. There can be no doubt. Why are you laughing?
because it's very obvious he did it.
But there's still a few things that are, like, odd about it that we need to investigate, right?
I would think so. We'll get to that.
What planet have you been on all this time, eh?
Let's recap. The victim, Gloria Blaze, was killed by a single bullet.
And the person found holding the gun was none other than Clegg.
However, Clegg was hit by someone and knocked unconscious.
And if he'd been trying to make it look like he hadn't done it, he never would have kept hold of the gun.
But he's a complete clock. Yeah, that's the pun. But he's a complete clock. Clocked. He hasn't the brains to work that out. I want to also say, Zeth, that the person he's having an affair with is Destiny Knox.
Okay, but the real mystery is who names their kid Clegg.
That's a very good question. The other
That's me. The other thing that we know, the other thing is we know for certain is where this place was shot from.
That's where you were standing on the stage during. That's where you were standing on stage during the performance, Mr. Strapping.
Yes, Clegg is a real name. Yes, by a cruel twist of fate, my beloved seems to have been shot from the very spot where I stood.
The problem is in the timing. To shoot somebody from anything other than point-blank range in total darkness is bordering on the impossible.
I think Noodle is losing it because Clegg is a real name that a real person has. Then it was a fluke. This is completely irrelevant.
However,
Never mind all that. I just remembered something of vital importance.
Oh, what's that then out of the blue?
The death threat. There was a threatening note, was there not? The death threat. There was a threatening note, was there not?
Eh?
With that additional evidence, you have no choice but to acknowledge Clegg must be the killer.
it seems we have some more investigating to do.
Indeed you do. Find the death threat. Indeed you do. Find the death threat. Sorry, I can't get his intonation right.
Death threat.
Wait, that's what the note is. But then why would she have it on her?
That's what I'm confused about.
Now,
Especially in the middle of the play like that.
she also didn't have the... Oh, sorry. Now picture the scene. Clegg falls in love with the beautiful Gloria. His passion is resolutely rejected. Consumed by self-pity and rage, he sends a death threat to the poor, defenseless flower.
So where's this death threat now, then, eh?
Somewhere at the scene of the crime, naturally. One of the detectives who came to Peter told me that. I'm quite certain it's there. Sure, it's there.
You don't have to be exactly right.
But you haven't actually seen it with your own eyes, though.
I don't need to see it to know the artless pitfall. Clegg no doubt came up with it.
Oh, that's... Oh. Zest, that's... Oh.
That's a good point. Now go and find it. Find the note that contains the incriminating death threat. I hope I'm
Although,
making...
to be fair, early 2000 Xbox Live chats were quite crazy.
By the way, I hope that I'm making his voice as douchey as possible.
It is very douchey.
Good. Should I be concerned that I'm good at doing a douchey voice?
No.
Here, Prof, I reckon this must be the death threat, don't you?
Excellent work, Lucy. He's just taking the prof's lines. Excellent work, Lucy.
That's for Prof to decide, Mr. Strapping, not you.
You'll pay for betraying me. I see.
Isn't it a bit funny? Isn't it a bit funny that it says that? Betraying, I mean. It makes it sound like Clegg and Blaze had a fling or something.
Utter tosh! Gloria only had eyes for me!
In that case, it seems probable that Mr. Clegg was not the author of the note.
That is one possible explanation, yes.
So, who were it that Miss Blaze had done the dirty on then, eh?
Of course, it's so obvious. The killer must have been a member of the audience. Gloria has countless fanatical followers. Picture the scene. A fan consumed with jealousy over Gloria's engagement to me. Oh, my poor beloved. How you shook like a little lamb whereas you opened one of their tasteless letters. The scrap of paper we've been musing over is quite obviously a death threat from an unhinged fan.
Death threat. A typed slip of paper that reads, "You'll pay for betraying me." According to Strapping, this is a death threat from one of Blaze's crazed fans. By heck, Prof! If we have to pull in everyone from the audience for questioning, we'll be here all year. That's the phone. Excuse me a moment.
So, tell me, are you two involved?
I beg your pardon.
You must be, surely. A true stallion would sure to get a little frisky, cooped up in here with such a fine young filly. Yeah!
That's none of your business,
Like,
sir.
this is a conversation that happens multiple times throughout the game, but still, it's weird coming from you. If I were her, I should take it as an insult to my femininity that nothing had happened. Yeah, the use of force terms makes me also uncomfortable.
It makes me very uncomfortable as well.
I should take it as an insult to my femininity.
Can I just say how ironic that is? Horse people being uncomfortable from someone else using horse terms.
But they're using it in a sexual way, which
That's fair.
Yeah, I don't like this guy. Bleh. As an insult to my femininity, I'm sorry, I don't find it insulting that men respect my boundaries. I don't know. You're a red-blooded male, aren't you? Oh, don't you dare give him a pep talk! Don't you?
Mr. Strapping! That's your manager on the phone. There's a famous chap who wants words with you at your office.
Goodness gracious, isn't that time? It must be that bore of a £2 million film I'm supposed to be acting in. Naturally, they wanted me as the headliner. What was it now? A pirate film, I think.
Well, it sounds very important. You won't want to keep them waiting, I imagine?
Well, seeing as we've proved who the murderer is, I shall take the opportunity to make my exit.
All right, ta-ta then. We'll be seeing you.
I'm looking forward to it already, precious.
It's DC Baker to you.
Adieu. Adieu. Sorry, that's better. Adieu.
Ugh, that man gets right up my nose. Do you really think he did it?
Without a shadow of a doubt. We still have a number of riddles to solve, but he's a very intelligent adversary.
I don't know if I would use intelligent to describe him. I don't know.
Oh, he doesn't seem all that sharp to me.
He very carefully and deliberately diverts the conversation away from the most crucial
The
point.
spot of where stuff was shot.
The most crucial point? What's that then?
Whether Blaze was actually shot in the dark or not.
Oh, because there were 2 gunshots. What if the first was the real bullet and the second was the blank?
It's possible.
Ooh.
Are you saying that Blaze weren't shot when it was dark, when it all went dark?
You recall where we concluded the shot was fired from?
Aye, from where Strapping had been standing on stage, weren't it?
Yes, and to hit Blaze from that distance with a single shot in the dark would be impossible.
But we know that's where she were done in from, don't we?
We do. There's no disputing where the shot was fired from. But when the shot was fired, that's a detail about which we still have some room for maneuver.
What do you mean when it was fired?
I mean, if only I hadn't been pitch black, Blaze would have been an easy shot from that location. Do you see? So now, when do you think the shot was fired that killed Blaze?
It was when she were on stage. It was during the performance. It had to be. Because it can't be after the lights went back up, because someone would see the shot. It can't be before the performance began, because she was acting during the performance.
So it had to be during.
By heck, Prof! Not during the performance!
Exactly. We know where the shooter was standing, and we know there was the noise of a gunshot. When you consider those 2 facts together, there's only one logical conclusion.
The gun used in the final scene of the play were the real gun!
Correct.
Unbelievable!
We can be almost certain that's the truth of the matter, but it is just a theory at this stage. We need to find some evidence that Blaze was actually shot while the performance was underway.
The remote. She didn't have the remote on her, so how would
She did not have a remote.
I hear you, Prof. I'm on it!
It's the remote, right?
There was also the oil. Look at the oil stain goes all the way across the thing as well.
And it's this, right? Like, she would have it on her.
I found the remote control, Prof.
That must have been used to detonate the squib and burst Blaze's bladder of fake blood.
Blaze would have been the one to push the button, wouldn't she? So how come it was chucked away here in the bin?
Yes, what does that tell us? What does that tell us, do you think, Lucy? What does the remote control being in the rubbish bin signify?
It wasn't used. Right?
Yes.
It wasn't used.
It wasn't used.
If the remote's here in the bin, then chances are Blaze never pushed the button at all.
There you have it. Despite failing to trigger the squib, blood poured from Blaze's wound during the performance.
Because she were actually shot with a real gun.
And we have the entire audience as witnesses.
That's hard evidence then, is it, Prof? Isn't it, Prof?
Yes, well done. Let's hand the remote over to the forensics and have them confirm the button was never pressed.
Assume they'd do that with a DNA check, but then also, I don't know.
I'll go and ask them right this minute. Right this minute. I'm losing my accent. I've been and asked them. I've been thinking while I was gone. Why would you want to kill someone in front of all them witnesses, eh?
That's true. If he did mean to murder her, why would he do it in front of the witnesses? So many people.
That, Lucy, is the biggest mystery of this case. If his aim had been even slightly off, he'd have given himself away in an instant.
It's hard to see what. It's hard to see what's driving him, I must say.
Yeah, that's the one thing we don't seem to have from him. Evidence points to him, but we have no motive.
Well, there's no point worrying about what we don't know yet. Let's continue our investigation based on what we do know. Layton was shot with a real gun in the final scene of the performance. Now we've established that the events that followed in the darkness start to fall into place.
Oh, aye! There's plenty of questions we need answering now.
Firstly, Layton's scream.
That's right, if she were shot beforehand, she wouldn't be able to scream.
And secondly, the gunshot that rang out through the darkness. Let's get to the bottom of those two curiosities.